Well, hello everyone. Today we are in the back roads of the Idaho country, seeing what we can see. So come on along, grab your cup of coffee, and let's see what we can get into. Well, this is a cool little campsite that I found. Definitely not going to camp here tonight, but this is a place that I'm definitely going to keep in mind for future use, because you can back right up into it and you have plenty of space. Plus you got stones already built up for a nice little campfire, and I'm going to keep this in the back of my mind. Before that time comes though, there's a little bridge here across a little creek called Boulder Creek. And even though we still got plenty amount of daylight still going on, I think I'm going to set up, because I really like the boulders and the river and the far mountains in the background. So I'm going to go ahead, set you down, grab my gear. Let's go see if we can get a shot. Well, I wanted to walk through that scene with you guys, but it was just too noisy down by the river. But essentially, all I was doing was just setting up in a vertical position. My F11, about a half a second, which is a great exposure for water. And of course, ISO 64. But when I put the polarizer on, the scene became so dynamic in its range that I ended up having to put on a 2-stop soft grad filter, and that would prevent me from bracketing that shot, and that way I can get, I won't have to go into Photoshop later and trying to blend all the layers in. Now it'll be nice and simple. But now that that scene is captured, I think I'm gonna go ahead, pack up, and we'll go back up the hill where I first started this video, and I think we'll set up there and wait for the sunset. So while we were out here exploring, I actually forgot to eat some lunch. So thankfully I always keep a couple mountain houses in the back of the vehicle just for, you know, just in case. And I'm really thankful that I did, because I'm actually starving, but we're gonna remedy that with some beef stroganoff. So while we're waiting for, while I'm waiting for that food to cook, you know, one of these days I ought to do like what's in my gear bag besides camera and stuff like that. But I can tell you right now that before I leave on any type of photography trip, I always carry 3 things with me. 1, obviously water. 2, I always carry extra food, i.e. those little mountain houses. And 3, I always carry a spoon. Now, I always have this one with me, just, you know, your little MSR plastic one. But I also keep one in my camera bag. It's a wooden spoon that I made myself. And just as a bonus, number 4, always carry some instant coffee. All right, now that I've gotten some food in the belly, I went ahead and I already set up my next composition. Unfortunately, the camera fell off my tripod once again and tumbled halfway down the cliff. I don't know, guys. I think that Benro locking mechanism on his tripod head is not securing properly. Bad news is the D850 is beaten up a little bit. Good news is it still appears to be in working order. I originally had hoped to go with a super wide angle, so I had the 14-24 on, and I haven't sent that one in for repair yet, and I had that lens on. Unfortunately, that lens is now totally ruined. I don't even know if it's worth sending into Nikon now, but that being said, you know, my camera's still working, and I guess I'm just kind of grateful that I had a lens that was already kind of on its last leg on it anyway. So guys, when you're putting those tripods on, and especially when you're at these awkward angles, make sure everything is secure, because that could have been a total disaster for me. So let me go ahead and I'll walk you through this composition. What I'm doing is I'm focusing on a rock right in front of me, and I'm using that as a focal point leading the eye through the scene. Now, we're not getting really spectacular light, but the light is okay. And to be honest, this is just more of a scouting trip, so I didn't really expect to get amazing photos this time. However, I do like this one. So while I'm going to dial in my composition, I'm focusing on the far peak in front of me, and I am zooming in just to make sure that it's going to be nice and tack sharp. Now, with this composition, because I do have foreground interest, I'm shooting at about f13. Once again, I like to maintain sharpness throughout the scene. So with that being said, go ahead, 2-second timer. Not too bad. And now we check the focus. The focus looks really good. Image is sharp throughout. Now there's a couple things that I don't like about this scene. The main thing is we're not getting quite the light that I thought we would down a far valley leading in from the right. Another thing that I don't quite like is right in the middle of the scene, there is this huge patch of trees that have already been logged. So we got this big brown patch in an otherwise uniformed sea of trees. You know what, that's okay. I do think, however, that sometime in the future that this would be a great sunrise photo. So this is a location that I am going to keep in mind. So go ahead, just snap 1 or 2 more photos. And I think that's going to do it for me. You know, I almost lost my camera again. I totally ruined my 14 to 24 Nikkor lens. So that's what happens when you rush, but we'll get that sorted out. So in the meantime, we'll keep this video a little bit shorter. So if you like this type of content, please consider giving me a like, a subscribe, a comment down below. And until next time, we'll catch you out there.